Stanisław Wojciechowski was a Polish politician, diplomat, scholar and theorist. In 1922, he was elected the second President of the Republic of Poland following the assassination of Gabriel Narutowicz. He was ousted by the May Coup d'etat of 1926. While a student at the University of Warsaw, Wojciechowski worked for the Polish Socialist movement, which at the time was a major force in the Polish independence effort. He was arrested by Tsarist police in 1891, and upon his release a year later moved to Paris and then on to London. In England he helped publish the Polish Socialist periodical Przedzwit and became friends with Józef Pilsudski. He also studied the cooperative movement, and on returning to Poland in 1906 he spent time working to develop Polish cooperatives. During World War I he considered Imperial Germany to be Poland's main enemy, and thus Wojciechowski went in 1915 to Moscow, and there in 1917 was elected president of the Council of Polish Parties Union. He returned to Warsaw at the end of the war, and from January 1919 to July 1920 served as Minister of the Interior in 3 separate cabinets of the new Second Polish Republic. He was elected to the Sejm as a member of the Polish Peasant Party in November 1922. When the Republic's President Gabriel Narutowicz was assassinated in December 1922, Wojciechowski was chosen to succeed him. In the new government, Wojciechowski and Military Chief of Staff Pilsudski disagreed on the political direction of the nation. Wojciechowski supported continued parliamentary government, while Pilsudski favored a more authoritarian approach. In May 1926, due to the worsening economic issues of the country, Pilsudski staged the successful May Coup, after which Wojciechowski was removed from his post. Biography. Early life and studies. Stanisław Wojciechowski was born on 15 March 1869 in Kalisz into a Polish noble family with strong ties to the intelligentsia. He studied mathematics and physics at the University of Warsaw from 1888 to 1891. Wojciechowski was active during his youth, first in the conspiratorial organization ZET, and later in 1888 during his studies in mathematics and physics with the burgeoning socialist movement. By 1892 he had abandoned his studies and chose the life of an exile after his second arrest and detention by the Tsarist police, first going to Zurich and then Paris. There he learned the trade of typesetter, with which he supported himself. He was a 1892 co-founder of the Polish Socialist Party, who met in Paris and participated in the following year on the first illegally organized party conference in Vilnius, where he met Pilsudski. He traveled several more times illegally to Congress Poland and the Russian Empire and smuggled printing machine components and publications into the country. Next to Pilsudski, he was the main agent of the socialist movement. In 1899 he married Maria Wojciechowska. Shortly after he was deported from France, he found his new center of life in London, where he worked as a typesetter, printer, journalist and publisher. Political movements and career. After 1905 left the Polish Socialist Party over disagreements on the political future of Poland and its relations to the international class struggle. After the amnesty in 1906, he returned to Warsaw and took part in the cooperative movement by Edward Abramowski. During World War I, Stanisław Wojciechowski, believing that Germany posed the biggest threat to Poland, moved to Moscow and after the fall of the Tsarist regime was elected president of the Council of Polish Parties Union. After helping to create the Polish army in Russia in 1918, he was forced to leave Moscow under threat of arrest once the Bolshevik regime seized power. From 1919 to 1920, Wojciechowski served as Minister of the Interior for 3 different Polish governments. During this time, Wojciechowski also participated in the drafting of the Polish Constitution. Presidency. On the 9th of December 1922, he stood as a candidate in the presidential election, but was defeated in the 4th ballot to the landowner Count Morosi Zamoyski and the later elected Gabriel Narutowicz. Following the assassination of President Narutowicz by the ultranationalist painter Elegius Niewiadomski on 16 December 1922, the candidacy waiver Pilsudski, who did not want to be blocked in their gilded cage, according to his own words, Wojciechowski was, by the National Assembly on the recommendation of Sejm Marshal Maciej Rataj with the votes of the left and the center on the first ballot, elected head of state. Wojciechowski, who had been Minister of the Interior from 1919 to 1920, enjoyed great prestige among the workers and also in parts of the rural population. Wojciechowski's tenure was overshadowed by an increase in unemployment and inflation, by waves of strikes, financial scandals, numerous government crises and ultimately bloody riots in Kraków and other cities. 1923, Pilsudski resigned as army chief and chairman of the powerful military council. In November 1925 depicted the formation of a coalition government led by Aleksander Skrzynski as the last attempt to get at the serious economic problems of the country by parliamentary means. Pilsudski's May Coup and resignation. After the May Coup, and the capture of Warsaw by Pilsudski's troops, President Wojciechowski was forced on the night of May 15, 1926, together with his government, to resign and to give the marshal a free hand to initiate the reorganization of the state. The President Ignacy Mościcki was installed as the new president. Following the resignation, Wojciechowski worked as a lecturer at the School of Economics and the College of Agriculture in Warsaw. In 1937, he was the co-founder of the opposition Labour Party. Death and legacy. Stanisław Wojciechowski retired to private life and survived the Second World War and the Warsaw Uprising. He died in Golubki in 1953, at the age of 84. Stanisław Wojciechowski experienced a political life not unlike that of many Central European politicians during the early 20th century. A radical in his youth, his ideology matured and grew more conservative with age. He was at the forefront of over a quarter-century of Polish political development and is considered one of the founders of the modern independent Polish state. Gallery.